You are listening to Community Radio for the Mid-Willamette Valley, KMUZ Turner, 88.5 and 100.7 FM.
You can also listen at
KMWV
Dallas, 98.3 HD2, and streaming worldwide at kmuz.org.
Good evening. Welcome to the Now and Then Show. I'm Eric Gessner. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. And tonight we've got a special guest via Zoom. We're talking to Dan Sindel. He has a brand new album out called Unpopular Music for Popular People, Volume 1. And Dan is with us tonight. Dan, how the heck are you?
I'm awesome. Thank you, Eric. It's really good to be here. And hello, everybody, with the Now and Then Show.
All right. Now, you've been listening to the show a bit, so off and on. What do you think?
I think you played the best music around. I wish every radio station followed your lead.
There you go.
That's what I think.
Yeah,
I love that you always sneak a good Rush song in on there.
I try to. Yep. It's all good. All right. So we've got Dan with us. And Dan, I don't know a lot about your background. So let's start there. How long you've been in the music business? How long you've been playing guitar? Just give us a little primer of your background.
Well, I actually started playing guitar at about 14. And I had been playing music actually since I was about 9 years old, when they still had music in the schools. They were passing out instruments one day, and hey, they gave me a trumpet, and so I just started learning how to play trumpet and learned how to read music and be in the jazz bands and concert bands. And by the time I hit my teen years, it just wasn't cool enough playing the trumpet. That just wasn't doing it anymore. All the awesome kids were walking around with Led Zeppelin albums and Black Sabbath and stuff. So, hey, I had to go over that way and join the cool kids. So
let's take us up to now. That's kind of your background. What have you been doing music-wise here? I've seen a few things via YouTube and some songs over the past few years, but what gets you to here?
Well, it's a long road, but I finally decided a few years ago to get a little bit serious and I have a lot of demos. I've been recording throughout the years, so I probably have 100 of them just kind of loosely done on the computer. But I wanted to finally take a few of those and bring them up to industry standards the best I could. So a few years ago, I decided to hire a couple drummers and go into a recording studio and see what I could make out of this whole thing. So the first 5 songs that I finished are what are now my current EP, Volume 1. I still have a good batch in the can waiting to be mixed and mastered, and that could potentially be Volume 2 as an EP, or I lump them all together as a full EP. I'm not too sure what to do because I'm not there yet, but I decided to see how far I could get with these songs and see if everybody likes them or not. And so far, I think the results have been pretty good so far. I'm pretty amazed at all the good things that have been happening.
You just got to get it out there, and if it's good stuff, people will listen. I love your recording studio, Dan. We're talking to Dan Sindel tonight from, he's a guitar player from LA area, Unpopular Music for Popular People, Volume 1. And you've got a really nice studio here. We've got the purple lights going on. You got all the monitor speakers and a keyboard.
Yes.
I see no guitars there. You let me down, bro.
Oh, they're looming in the background. It's all but an illusion. It almost looks like I'm sitting in a multi-million-dollar mastering lab, doesn't it? Thank you, Zoom wallpaper.
There you go. Zoom wallpaper. Yep, that's right. I was just giving you a hard time, so it's all good.
I have a guitar behind me somewhere. Hey, there it is. Oh, see that? Oh.
There you go. Okay, cool. He's showing us his guitar. All right, so let's track one off the new one here, and this is the first track. You revisited these, like you just said. You went through, you dug through your whatever you had in your can, and you came out with the first 5 here. So we're going to play track number 1 called All Due Respect. This is Dan Sindel on the Now and Then Show.
Rock and roll.
due respect, I'll be direct. Need to correct what's not perfect. How to correct things I suspect. Cannot neglect clues I detect. Without due respect, without due, yours is yours, mine is mine. How could you dare to cross that line? Tables are turned out in my favor. Without due respect, victory I savor. Respect this. Without due respect, I'll be direct. Need to correct what's not perfect. How to correct things I suspect. Cannot neglect clues I detect. With all due respect, with all due respect, with all due respect, you'll never have respect. With all due respect, with all due respect, with all due respect, you'll never have respect.
All right, you just heard All Due Respect, Dan Sindel from Unpopular Music for Popular People, Volume 1. He's evidently working on Volume 2 as we speak. Wait.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I'm working hard. A lot of pre-production. Takes a lot of work to bring this to your ears.
Are you doing this on your own, or are you having help? Do you have any help here?
Well, at the moment, I'm doing everything all myself. I'm doing all the pre-production, and I'm working on mixing it myself, too. I'll see how far I can get. I am not what you would say a tenured, skilled mixing engineer. That's like a whole other skill set. But I'm a student, and I'm trying my best. And if I get lucky and I make the mark, all the better. If not, I'll hire up some really good engineers and just get it done.
There you go. Dan Sindel, our special guest tonight on the Now and Then show. You're teaching guitar too. Are you a musician full time, or is this kind of a hobby, or kind of you've got one job in the day and you're super musician at night?
Yes, I put on my magic tape and I turn into a super musician. No, in my brain, I'm a full-time musician. I don't think my income stream says different. Very few people really can create a living out of music. It's kind of a tough gig just to play your instrument. You usually have to find a few different things to do, but I am very fortunate in that I'm able to teach guitar at a couple of the different local colleges here in the LA area. I just love that. I've been playing music for forever, and being able to pass the torch of knowledge on to the younger players. I'm still waiting for the next Eddie Van Halen or Stevie Ray Vaughan or Jimi Hendrix to crop up out of the people that have been teaching. You never know. Yeah. But yeah.
That would be like one of these convenience stores hitting the big lottery, the $1 billion lottery, and they get a big chunk of pie where somebody like that would give you a little slice of the pie.
Yeah, it's all good. I got some people that I've shown stuff throughout the years. It's not anything that I've done, but they worked hard and they've turned into professional musicians themselves. So it's pretty neat to see a few people take the ball and run with it. They have enough love for it.
Let's track Say Goodbye. But before we start this, when you went back and re-listened to this one, why did you select this one to be on your EP? What came out in the forefront for you?
The track Say Goodbye. It's just a beautiful love song. That's why. It's to me, I've said this in different interviews, but it's probably one of my more complex arrangements. And my love of music goes back to the 50s, 60s, and 70s, especially the 70s. And, I think everybody that writes music wants to create their own Bohemian Rhapsody or Stairway to Heaven, something to that magnitude. So in my own realm, Say Goodbye and also Edge of Eternity on the album, they're both deep cuts. They're over 6 minutes. So to me, those are sort of like my own personal Bohemian Rhapsodies. Say Goodbye I especially like because it has more progressive edge to it. The bass is moving pretty heavy like a good Rush song. The guitars are pretty grooving. And while we're talking, if I may, I do want to send out a dedication because on Say Goodbye, my dear friend Alex Wyatt played drums on it. And as of about a year ago, he passed away unexpectedly as a young guy. His, just out of nowhere, his heart gave out or something to that nature. And we were preparing to get ready to play shows, and we were pretty tight, and we were just getting ready to do concerts. And hey, he's no longer here, but his amazing drumming lives on. And I pledged to his family that his music, I would do the best to get his music, his drum playing heard out there. So I do, with all my heart, send this one out to Alex's spirit and his family. You're listening to Eric Gessner on the Now and Then Show, and this is Say Goodbye.
things I found. Oh, so much better things gonna take you out. Oh, so much better things the certain things I found. Oh, so much better things gonna take you out.
We just heard Say Goodbye here on the Now and Then show, and Dan Sindel is with us, guitar man. Album is called Unpopular Music for Popular People. Go get it. It's volume 1. And our next track here is called Rule the World. And this is kind of got a surf vibe feel to it. And did you try to do that? A little bit, kind of a surfing vibe here?
With Rule the World? Actually, no. No, that's interesting that you say that. You know, I have so many different loves for so many different styles of music that it all seems to come together a little bit at some point in time. Yeah, I was really trying to hail back to this song with more of a 70s feel, or maybe even a little bit of a 60s AM radio. Oh, well, you know, okay, there you go. You know, being that I'm talking about that, because when I grew up, I'm here in the LA area, and just going over to Malibu and Zuma Beach and Topanga is just less than 15 minutes, half-hour drive. So I grew up on the beach, and in the 60s with transistor radios, maybe a lot of you people don't even know what a transistor radio is, but we used to have these little battery-operated radios. And everybody listened to AM radio. And out here we had a station called KHJ. And it was just so cool. So music, the beach, you know, it's all part of me. But, yeah, I was really just trying to capture the sound of some of the 70s with this, with the layered vocals, maybe kind of hailing back to the Byrds, or, you know, some ELO with kind of a more up-tempo type of an arrangement. There was a lot of stuff going on. I listened to the drums, and the drums almost sound 90s, like REM, or, you know, some type of pop type of stuff, too. So, you know, there's a lot of different cool things in there.
All right, let's listen to all the cool things in here. Rule the World. This is Dan Sindel on the Now and Then show.
I really
from Unpopular Music for Popular People, Volume 1. Dan Sindel is with us. We're hanging out, telling stories, and just having a good time. So, who are your guitar influences growing up? I mean, I've always liked Michael Schenker, Gary Moore, Richie Blackmore, Rick Emmett from Triumph, of course, Alex Lifeson.
Mm-hmm.
How about you?
I love each and every one of the guys you just talked about. The first guitar player that ever captured my imagination, I didn't even know his name at the time. Because, when I was younger, I was still playing my trumpet. And the coolest thing to rock and roll was Chicago. They had 25 or 624, which turned out to be, Terry Caff. He was probably one of the first guys that made me, rethink things about, swapping instruments and going down that road. But Jimmy Page is the one that did it for me. That just sealed the deal. Because when I was in junior high, that's when The Song Remains the Same, the double live album, came out with the Moody. So that was it for me. When I heard him play The Song Remains the Same and Dazed and Confused, I mean, game over. Game over. And, I love everybody. And the next guy that really made me want to learn was Steve Howe from Yes. His technical ability was just beyond my imagination. I still can't play like him. But, every time I listen to him, it just gets me inspired. But Richie Blackmore was probably the next biggest thing. When I heard Stargazer from Rainbow Rising, oh boy, just that Egyptian harmonic minor sound, that changed my mind. And then Alex Lifeson with those complex riffs and arrangements. There's so many guys out there, Buck Dharma, Blue Oyster Cult, Frank Marino. I mean, I could name a list of 10,000 guys that have shaped me. Sure.
Dan Sindel, our special guest. Dan, what do you do when you're away from playing guitar and maybe teaching at the college? What do you do for fun down there in Southern California?
Oh, I still love to go to the beach, hang out with my friends. But, I don't know. There's just a lot of cool things to do in this town. Most things I try and do are music related. I'm a one-trick pony.
There you go. He's a one-trick pony. Let's play another one from Unpopular Music for Popular People. This one's called Stepping Stone. You're listening to the Now and Then Show. right, Now and Then show with Eric. We just heard Stepping Stone from Dan Sindel. He's with us tonight. And we're going to track one more tune here before we say goodnight. But you got a tune here, a long one here. It's the last song on the EP called Edge of Eternity.
Yes.
What's this song about?
Edge of Eternity is basically, I guess you could say, having a brush with death. And it takes a look at, I suppose you could say, that's really hard to encapsulate in a few words. But, in my own personal life, I don't like talking about this, but 12 years ago, almost to this day, I almost died of cancer. It came close. I had stage 3, almost stage 4. And thankfully, the doctors caught it in time. So even, at a personal experience, I was sort of looking at the edge of eternity in a way. And yeah, I think just through that experience, I just somehow channeled that. And that's what I ended up with on this one. Not to be, I guess you could say, the harbinger of doom and gloom, if you will. But it's something we all have to deal with. We're not here forever. But, I try to be optimistic. And, even for me, I feel like I've been given a second life, a second chance. And I've been able to play and, I'm singing and learning how to be better at what I'm doing. And, every day you should really just try and do something good for yourself and for other people and don't waste a minute. Just try and not waste your time, good people, because you never know. You could be looking at the edge of eternity.
All right, Dan, before we go, where can we get your merch or pick up the album?
Well, all my music is on the normal stuff. You got your Amazon and your Spotify and all the other channels. I'm around. You can find me on Instagram. I believe my channel is Dan Sindel Music, DANSINDEL. Find me on Facebook. I'm around. Come say hi.
Yeah, and it's really interesting. You've been on my Facebook feed for, many years. Must be 5 or 6 years at least.
Mm-hmm.
And, we chatted back and forth here and there about music, whatever. And then it's just, you came up with something to play that I can play on my show. And I've been doing a lot of interviews. So I finally got around you. I've got more to come, So I'm just trying to do an interview a week. That's about all the time I have, but it's fun. Sometimes I can do 2, but that's a lot.
Well, I am so grateful. The very first time you played my music, and it was a thrill because I'm a music fan, number one. And when you factored me in with the brand new Judas Priest and Rush and the new George Lynch and Graham Bonnet and the Dead Daisies and all these bands, I just thought, wow, now this is cool. I still feel like a little kid when good things happen to me. So I thank you. And I thank your listening audience for enjoying what I do. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, no problem. And, it's fun that, I love playing the new music that the older bands come out with, maybe different members and all that. And for example, Deep Purple's new album is going to drop any day.
Yeah.
Can't wait for that. And they've got a new guitar player, and the 2 tracks that got released are great. So, like Roger Glover said years ago, he said that a band, when they put out an album, that's where they are as a band.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that. Pretty simple, right? So that's where they are. So it's not Richie Blackmore. It's not Steve Morse anymore. Even it's not Joe Satriani because he played with them for a cup of coffee. But it's where they are right now in 2024 and going into 2025. And that's kind of what music is about. When bands kind of change, it's just, I'm not a big fan of saying, oh, they don't sound like 1970. Well, nobody sounds like they're in 1970 anymore. Get it out there, have fun. The band's having fun. Some of these old guys have, they got kids. Kids are growing up. They got grandkids. They're clean and sober. And guess what? They're putting out some of the best music of their careers.
Yeah.
Nobody's playing it, right? Which is hard. I mean, you can get it on YouTube or whatever, Spotify, Amazon, but on the radio, it's, this is one of the only shows in the country with a format like this. And I've looked.
Well, bless you. And that's the power of independent radio. The big stations are so stuck in a format where they still are playing the big hits from 1980 and won't even give a band of, let's say, Def Leppard a fair chance to play the new album. It's kind of, I mean, I'm not at that level, but I can only imagine those guys are tearing their hair out. Like, what? You're still playing Pour Some Sugar on Me. How about, something new?
I really believe that the classic rock stations are going to go the way of the 50s and 60s stations, because they're not playing any new music. And they're just, new music to them is like Nirvana, really? Or Stone Temple Pilots or something like that, right? And it's like, it's just mixed. You could mix like 4 new ones in an hour and still do well, but they listen to suits and consultants and, focus groups. And hey, sometimes you have to just take a chance and put a different lineup in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I've always said to my friends ever since probably about the 90s when things got really commercial. And I was telling my friends that music is now dictated by an Excel spreadsheet based on, are you 18 to 35? Do you drive a Volvo? Do you make over $37,000 a year? Do you have a wife and a kid and a dog? Really? I'm not sure, but the state of affairs with corporate music is pretty sad. But at least they're still spinning the music that, at least in my case, I grew up with and I love, and that's cool. But, guys like your station, and all the independents are really where new music thrives. So bless you, man.
Dan Sindel, our special guest tonight. Here's Edge of Eternity. Dan, thanks so much for being on the show. We'll catch you next time.
Hey, thank you. It's been an honor. We'll see you guys around.
Hi guys, this is Joanne Shaw Taylor, and you're listening to the Now and Then Show with Eric Gessner.